Hello everybody, it's Mithril Zenith, and it's been a while. Note to any content creator, never promise a schedule because you will immediately have life challenges that prevent you from even getting close to that schedule. Anyway, we're back with another 15-minute tier list, hopefully a 15-minute tier list. Shadow Dragon is a game I have played a lot of around 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago I played a lot of this game, and I have not really played much of it since. But let's get into it. Let's start, as we always do, with Marth. Now, Marth was S tier, Marth was A tier. You think Marth is pretty good, right? No. No, unfortunately. I think he caps out at D tier. I'd hesitate to put him in E tier. He has the availability, he's technically useful. He has the rapier, so you could forge a rapier and he could be decent. But he's going to be facing weapon triangle disadvantage for almost the whole game. He never promotes. He caps out at level 30. His stat caps are reasonable, but not great. He can't avoid getting doubled by the final boss if we're considering hard 5. I don't know what difficulty this is considering. Either way, Marth doesn't really have anything that makes him stand out in a good way, and a lot that makes him stand out in a not-so-good way. Sita, however, is the easiest S tier in the game because really what it is the Wing Spear is the S tier because forging it allows you to one-shot pretty much almost every important enemy in the game outside of dragons, in which case you can just get a forged dragon pike. Yeah, Sita's Wing Spear is insanely overpowered. Because Shadow Dragon is a game about reclassing, the class of a unit doesn't really matter so much as their weapon ranks do, because when you reclass into a class the unit has no right being in, they start with E rank weapons and can only wield iron, which is not great. So good weapon ranks and stats and availability make a better unit than their class itself. Which is why, for instance, Kayn is around a C rank, whereas Abel's around a B rank unit. I might make these changes. It might be A and B. But either way, Kayn's higher sword rank is very bad compared to Abel's higher lance rank. Being able to use javelins right away is very good. Goto, no one's going to get Goto anyway. And when you do get him, especially if you're on a higher difficulty, he's just so bad. It just is pointless. Zayn is A tier because he can copy pretty much any unit. What he doesn't get is that unit's inventory, which is most of the time more valuable than the unit itself. You can trade, and that's great, but yeah, versatility at the cost of, having to... Oftentimes you don't necessarily... You want a second unit, but what you really want is a second forged weapon, and you only really have one forged weapon for 2 units if you're using Zayn, so that's the problem there. Noren, no one's going to get unless you deliberately kill off more than one character in the prologue, and she's only available in normal mode. I guess I'd give her E tier, but no, she's not present. Hey, we have a really well-rounded... speaking of that, Gordon, Noren is just a... I don't even know how to rate Noren versus Gordon. They're both terrible units. They both only have bow rank to their names. They both have horrible stats. They both have great availability, but that's about it. Lind with Aura can be useful. Norda Markets isn't too late in the game, but at the same time she comes in so late, and the only thing she has going for her is Aura, which most units can eventually use anyway in this game. It's just her that gets it at E rank. Yeah, not great. Same with Merrick. He comes in early enough that he's reasonable, but if you're playing on any sort of harder difficulty, there's no way keeping anyone alive is going to happen. Maybe I could put him in C rank. Look, I don't know. He's reasonable, he's decent. Using Excalibur is nice. A good unit is Wendell, wherever he went. Because his speed, he's pre-classed, which ordinarily you think, oh, it's, doesn't allow him to gain a lot of experience, gain a lot of stats. He has the bases that he needs to actually be reasonable. He can use Excalibur, he can become a Draco Knight if you really need the extra movement. He's just a pretty all-around solid unit. Boa, I would put much lower than him this time. because his magic actually matters, and his stats actually matter, and instead of being, just Wendell, but joining, 10 chapters later, he actually is actively worse, and the enemies are, or more likely, the enemies are so much stronger, and the mechanics are so different that he just can't be worked out. Rad is a meme. Caesar is a meme. These are all technically usable, but why would you want to? Dolph and Macalon are memes. Again, technically useful, but why would you want to? Bantu, he's terrible. He actually sucks. Getting the Firestone, getting everything, whatever, doesn't matter. He sucks. Does not matter. Bantu is not a useful unit outside of recruiting Tiki, who is slightly more useful. I'll put her in like C tier because she's only useful against fighting dragons, and you have to train her up a lot in order to make her be somewhat useful. You have to baby her a lot against the dragons that she's supposedly so good against. This is assuming hard 5. If you're assuming normal mode, all of this is going to be screwed up. But assuming hard 5, this is kind of more what it's going to be like. Harden is more like Abel, really solid unit. Board and Cord. One of these has the axe rank to wield hammers right away. One of these does not. And one of these is one of the best units in the game. So yeah, that's... I don't remember which one has C rank axes off the bat. But one of these do, and whoever that one is the D tier unit. The other one is E tier. Minerva... do I put her B tier or A tier? I guess I'd put her A tier because, again, she's useful enough. Maybe I would just put her B tier because she's useful enough, but she definitely suffers. But having the early start of higher stats in a game mode where, if we're assuming hard 5, I don't know. It's complicated. Nagi only sees the final chapter, but is really good in that final chapter. But again, I kind of have to put her along with... No, I don't... I have to put her a tier above Goto because she is the trick to beating hard 5 outright. It's her plus the Staff. And that's really about it. And Elise, because she can use the Staff, technically gets E rank. Katria is technically usable. Weapon ranks, technically usable. Shadow Dragon, if we're assuming a hard 5 mode here, Shadow Dragon is heavily weighted to the bottom. Heavily weighted to the bottom. Navarre is more reasonable than you would think, given his high stats, but again, it's just sword rank that he has. So yeah, he's similar to Kain in that respect. Good stats, only reasonable sword rank. Can be used, but why? Ogma, I want to put him B tier. I know that he's probably closer to C tier, but I just want to put him B tier. I don't know. Athena, replacement Navarre, not as good. Beck, and... what is his name? What is his name? I don't even remember. He is on this list, right? Ballisticians. Ballisticians. S tier units. Because Ballisticians are broken. They are permanent 310 range. Permanent 310 range with forgeable weapons with effective damage in the right circumstances. Also, great way of cheesing out Medius even on hard 5. Great way of cheesing out pretty much anything on any difficulty. Great units. Lorenz is a terrible unit in every regard. Riss, I could put him as E tier, but why? Heal staff. Riss, why do you exist? Riss exists to highlight better healers, infinitely better healers like Lena, who joined 1 chapter after, or 2 chapters after. She has the staff rank to use Warp, and that's what's important about her. Maria joins too late to be reasonable. Probably has the staff rank to use Warp and whatnot. I think she can use... If they fix the bug, I think she can use Hamern as well. I forget. Either way, Lena's... Actually, Hamern with forged weapons gives her probably A tier status, just because those weapons are so important to keep upright, and you only have one star sphere, so you can't make all your weapons invincible. Wolf and Sedgar, because of the weird, funny way in how they work, they end up being S tiers because their growths are absolutely insane, and if you spend the time grinding them just a couple levels, they will snowball out of control. Their experience gain is very slow. They are weirdly broken units that don't look broken at all on the surface. In fact, on the surface, they look pretty much unusable. But under the hood, the growth rate engine is just insanely good with them. Why would you need a thief? Why would you need a thief? This is Shadow Dragon. Why would you need a super late joining Berserker? You at least have staff rank. Castor, I'm sorry, but this is probably your worst game. Aaron, this isn't FE11, this is FE10. This isn't FE12, this is FE11. So Aaron is not good. Horus, actually surprisingly useful, but again, I really put these... There's a part of me that says her one chapter of usefulness puts her above all of these other units' chapters of uselessness. And that's what I'm going for here. I'm even going to put Est up here because of the... Actually, I'm going to adjust it like that. Yeah. Because of the forged weapon scale, I'm going to put... Why did George end up here? I don't remember moving George up here. No, this is George. This is Caesar. Yes, that's why Caesar's right here. George can be useful, I suppose. Pretty easy to get to Parthia. Hero who joins late and understated. Paladin who joins late and understated. Jagan, top tier. In Shadow Dragon, because, again, forged weapons are all you need. And he has the weapon ranks to use any forged lance, pretty much. Drog, same thing. With the weapon ranks, he's surprisingly useful. And he can reclass into Pirate or Dark Mage even, and he has surprisingly good base speed. I have to mention that, otherwise everyone in the comments will. The Scrub Squad of Cavaliers... They're again technically usable, but their weapon ranks are so low. Frey can come right up with these units if he existed. If you're playing on a content patch that allows Frey to exist in hard 5-star, then he's up there, the same unit as Abel, well, similar unit as Abel. I would say he's probably even better than Abel. If you're not playing on a content patch that allows that, he doesn't exist. Same with Noren. She's basically the same unit as Gordon, otherwise she doesn't exist. Roger, I guess there are some funny things you could do with him. Am I really putting Roger in front of all these other units? Doesn't feel right to me to do that. No, it doesn't feel right at all. Tomas, no, you're not even worth that, because by that point you're not worth using at all. Daros, there are funny things you could do with the Pirate, and there are funny things you do with the Hero. This looks right to me. I'm debating whether I would make any sort of other substantial changes. Again, debating moving Ogma to B. Pegasus Sisters, I think, just joined too late to really deserve Oversea, even though they have the good lances. It's okay, so we have good axes, good lances, can copy anything, but comes late. Ballisticians, overpowered units, early game, just beast mode unit. Cannot beat Heart 5 without Jagan. Cannot beat Heart 5 without... Well, maybe you can, but it's really tough. Sita with Wing Spear. Forged Wing Spear, above all. Forged Wing Spear is SS tier. Ballisticians, all of this stuff. Honestly, I think I would put Tiki as the same tier as Nagi, so either I move Tiki down or I move Nagi up. Because they're about as useful as each other. Some would argue that Nagi's more useful than Tiki. I'm not... yeah. And then just the scrubs. And Marth, who has to be there and at least gets the Forged Rapier, which puts him above everyone else, but not by much. Anyway, this is the tier list as I see it. Debating again moving Merrick down from C to D? Is that a thing I can do? He's the only magic user you have until you get Wendell, which you don't get Wendell that much later. But I guess he has a niche. Yeah, this is my tier list. Let me know if you approve or disapprove. This is a 15-minute tier list for Hard 5 mode specifically of Shadow Dragon. Units are not necessarily rated within their tier. Leave your comments and changes down below. Good to see you all again. I'm not dead, just really busy, just having a career crisis, but it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Have a great day, everyone. You are wonderful for watching this video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.